Priscila is a researcher in the National Institute of Industrial Property. She's also has microbiology by the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. She is also in a doctorate of public policies and development strategies with the Economy Institute of the Federal University. With a partnership with Fiocruz in the intellectual property and development. Her tutor is Dr. Claudia, and she's involved with the INC project and ITN, which is coordinated by Dr. Carlos Morel from Fiocruz. I believe my speech, good morning, will be more technical than what we had before, but without leaving aside the concern for public policies. My idea is to bring a little bit of the use of technological information and what's the benefit of that for science. I work for INPI, the National Institute for Industrial Property, is for trademarks and patents. That's here downtown Rio. There is the Anoite building, one of the oldest skyscrapers of Rio. And we are also in this other building at Marinque Veiga Street. But we also have representation in each one of the Brazilian states. So technically, to talk about patents, documents. The document is a generic name that we assign to both the patent applications as well as the granted ones. And what's the difference in this what's similar between them? They both have technological information, and this is what I will target in my presentation. The difference is that the patent application has judicial information, legal information, and it's an important document because in the request it's defined the scope of protection for a certain type of innovation or invention. And how is this? Well, invention can be a process or product, and in order to become a granted patent, it has to be within the requisites that are established by Law 9279 of 1996. That includes the idea is a patent document as a source of technological information, and how can we make people use it, since we do have such innovation in Brazil. Because in Brazil we have free information in the internet with all of the documentation, or at least the greatest part of it. I didn't add the site, but one of the sites where you can have this patent documentation is the SpaceNet, p.spacenet.com. If you need more details, that's the European Patent Office. I can give you more. So what's the idea of this patent document? Because it has information structured. There are codes that are established for every field. At the face of a patent application, so that we can get to that information more easily. They follow the international classification that is established by the World Organization for Intellectual Property. It has an abstract that also the keywords in that abstract is a way of us to retrieve that document. It describes what we had before and what's the big innovation, what's the difference that that particular invention has in terms of what was pre-existing. And with that, what can we do? If we read a patent document, we can create something new. And using the document as a source of technological information, it allows you to stop reinventing the wheel and moving forward. we can establish a innovation cycle that is constant. Another information is that rarely the patent application information duplicates other information that's already been described in scientific journals. It's a great amount of information and it's available for free. In reality, this part of the presentation is why am I here? My initial idea is to send you an abstract just to present a poster, but I didn't have time. So I talked to William, and I'm thankful to William because he gave me the space to talk about this. The idea is to provoke you in terms of the importance of this subject in Brazil. So this project I presented in Sweden. I was there for a course in 1 month, and that was promoted by the Swedish Patent Office with the International Organization for Intellectual Property. And the idea was we have at the INPI, a few of you probably know about it, we have these publications that are called technological alerts. And since the beginning of this year, we started having alerts in nanotechnology and nanobiotechnology, the convergence of these two different areas. And the idea of presenting this project was, well, we need to be able to assess how much this information is useful for our target. Our target are the scientists that are developing research in this area in Brazil. So what's the role of the INPI in a system of a sustainable national innovation system? So these are the objectives, the role of the INPI, and the improvement of use of technological information. And the idea is to identify a better dialogue with INPI and its final users. So my idea is to come here, is to be behind the scenes talking to people. I brought my recorder. I was going to interview people about this theme and present this here. And I came to know your opinion, the opinion of our target, our public target, or better, our target in terms of what we want to tell you, which is the scientists, and also to improve the language. Or I still want to do that. I hope I have time to do it later on today to ask you. Obviously, if we don't have time today, perhaps I can do it by email or telephone contact, but the idea is to implement this project. And it is obvious that this was all based was the existence of nanotechnology as one of the priorities in the Brazilian policies for product development. Some questions. I'm not going to go over this question. I can do it later. This questionnaire. I want to show you a little bit of this work. This is available at the INPI, which is www.inpi.gov.br. It's not very easy to find sometimes our site. That's why I have to come here to the public and tell you. On the site, we have the technological information on the left. Besides the alerts, we have studies. And one of the studies that are being prepared in biotechnology will publish perhaps at the beginning of next year. So we have PDF files with graphs, the countries, the ones that are most active in patents, and the subsets of patent application, the concentration of requests, and who were the biggest applicants, we can see that the pharmaceutical industry and cosmetics. And we have a table with the number of the patent documents and priorities. A little bit more complex, I'm not going to explain, but you can contact me later on. Who is the applicant? So this is just to give you a flavor of what is going to be presented in the study I'm working on. The study brings information, like for instance, the last few years, from I'm talking 2000, 2008, we have a patent document. We don't know if the patent was granted or not, so let me call it a patent document. The presence of the United States as the number one applicant, followed by France. And then we have Brazil, Germany, and other countries. And other research done in collaboration in other countries. Why do I want to call your attention upon this? Is that Brazil needs to learn or understand the importance of intellectual property and learn how to use this the best way. I heard some of the speakers here that some researchers are only requesting the patent in Brazil. And if you do the application only in Brazil, you only protect the internal market. You must think of exporting. So you have to think about abroad. And we have to find a way of making this process with less red tape so it will be easier. Because I understand the difficulty of a university professor researching. I said I left university, but I'm still a doctorate student. But I left hard science and left to soft science. But there's nothing soft in public policy. On the opposite, it's really hard. So I understand the researcher side. And we must try different tools to improve the situation. And that's why I want to provoke the public here. We have to have the citizens' duty of learning about that. It's kind of funny because we're discussing safety, regulation, but in reality people want to do science, people want to technological development, that's what they're interested, but everything has to be together. We have to take this thing forward together. So this forum is very important. I'm very thankful for the opportunity of being here today with you. I'm thankful to William. And obviously, I have to be thankful to the National Institute of Industrial Property because they are the ones who are sponsoring my education. So I'm thankful to them to participate in this, to be able to carry out my doctorate in public policies and being here. Thank you very much.